Have you ever felt misunderstood? Like the world couldn't quite grasp who you are? It's a strange and lonely place to be, isn't it? People fear what they don't understand. But here's the truth. Those who are most misunderstood often become the ones who set the world on fire. Have you had people dislike you for no reason? No matter what you did, it seemed like you were the bane of their existence. It wasn't because you weren't like them. No. It was because you were a freak. And by freak, I mean someone who doesn't let anything stand in their way. Someone who draws their own map in life. Who doesn't give a damn about what others think. The world is full of people who see only their own dullness reflected in you. They dismissed you, labeled you regular. But let's get real. There was nothing regular about you. You were the fire behind the forced smile, the storm beneath the calm sea. They saw the surface, assumed they knew the depths, and thought they had you all figured out. They were wrong. While they were busy overlooking you, you were evolving. You were sharpening your claws, honing your skills, building an empire brick by agonizing brick. They called you invisible, but invisibility is a superpower. You watched, you learned, you mastered the art of being underestimated. And when the mask finally slipped, the sweet taste of their shock, you were never just a face in the crowd. You were the wolf in sheep's clothing, the volcano pretending to be a mountain, the king in rags with the perfect moment to rise. Now look at them. Their fragile egos crack under the weight of your brilliance. They whisper, how did we miss it? But deep down, you know the truth, they didn't miss it. They chose not to see it. Because acknowledging your greatness would acknowledge with front to confront their mediocrity. You owe them nothing. Not your time. Not your energy. Not your forgiveness. This journey isn't about their validation. It's about you. Your battles. Your scars. Your triumphs. You turned their doubts into fuel, their dismissal into fire. And now you're the tidal wave they thought was just a ripple. You see, angels aren't the ones with pristine wings or glowing halos. No. The real angels are forged in fire, scarred from the battle society forced upon them. Misunderstood. Labeled as freaks. But that's where their strength lies. It's easy to spot the loud, obvious villains. But the real criminals, they hide in plain sight. Ordinary, unassuming, the ones you'd never expect to twist the knife. And oh, how they twist it, don't they? But it's the freaks, the so-called outcasts, were the ones who take those blades, turn them into armor, and rise stronger every time. They thought their venom would poison us, but instead it became our fuel. They aimed to break us, but every wound only made us more unshakable, more angelic in our defiance. Society never wanted us to succeed. It branded us as failures before we even had a chance to prove them wrong. They feared our light, our fire, our ability to walk past they couldn't comprehend. But here's the thing about angels born from chaos: we don't crumble under hate, we thrive on it. Every insult, every shove into the abyss, they shaped us. And when pain turns to pleasure, that's when the world truly trembles. Because what can stop someone who no longer fears the blade? What power do cowards hold over the fearless? Their words, their weapons, their twisted games, they've lost their sting. Because the truth is, they've always feared what they couldn't control. And we are uncontrollable. They tried to mold us and strip us of our uniqueness. But all they did was ignite the fire we've kept hidden for far too long. They mocked us, calling us freaks, misfits, broken. But broken pieces create the sharpest edges. We became the mirrors they couldn't bear to look into reflections of, everything they lack: courage, resilience, authenticity. That's why they hate us. That's why they push us down. It's not because we're weak. It's because we remind them of their own fragility. And so, we walk through life with a smirk, wearing their scars like medals of honor. Their ridicule. It's us on phony betrayal. It's a battle crushes under the weight of their judgment. But instead, we've turned their stones into stepping stones, building a path they'll never have the strength to walk. You see, angels like us don't just endure, we transcend. We take their darkness and turn it into light. Their hate, we turn it into power. They thought the knives that plunged the thumbs would silence us, but they only carved the wings we needed to rise above them. And now, as we stand tall, unshaken, the world begins to notice pain. The world's taken behind to make survive how we've thrived. But they'll never understand, will they? Because you can't comprehend what you've never endured. We are the chaos they tried to silence, the storm they underestimated. We are angels in disguise, the stars in their eyes, and legends in the making. Let them stare. Let them fear. Let them wonder. The misunderstood us are the ones to reshape the world, to burn it down and rebuild it in their own image. So let the ordinary cling to their fragile sense of order. Let them hide in their mediocrity, pretending they hold the power. We know better. We are the ones who thrive in the shadow, who rise in the flames, who shatter every expectation and redefine what it means to be unbreakable. And now, as the smoke clears, they stand frozen, paralyzed by these agendas that the ones they labeled as broken have become the architects of a new reality. They underestimated the power of resilience, the strength born from scars, the beauty hidden in chaos. They never saw it coming because they were too busy trying to preserve their agile illusions of control. But let's be clear, this isn't about vengeance. No, vengeance is small, and we are anything but small. This is about awakening. It's about stepping into the fullness of who we are, no longer bound by their limitations, their labels, their rules. They thought they were writing our story, but the pen was never in their hands. The irony is almost poetic, isn't it? The more they tried to silence us, the louder our truth became. The more they tried to break us, the more unshakable we grew. And now, as they choke on their disbelief, we stand here unapologetically radiant, no longer seeking validation, no longer asking for permission to exist. Let them call us freaks. Let them brand us as monsters. These are the titles of those who refuse to conform, who refuse to be tamed. We wear them with pride because they signify liberation from their narrow definitions, their shallow judgments. We are the storm they never prepared for, the fire they tried to extinguish, the light they'll never dim. And while they scramble to hold on to their crumbling facades, we rise, unapologetic, unstoppable. Because angels like us, the misunderstood, the outcast, we don't fall in line. We don't play by their rules. We build our own kingdoms, chart our own paths, and create a world where authenticity reigns and mediocrity has no place. So let them watch. Let them tremble. Let them try to make sense of the unstoppable force we've become. They'll never understand. And that's okay. We don't need them to. We've claimed our power, our truth, our destiny. We are the misunderstood, who turn pain into purpose, fear into fuel, and doubt into dominance. They thought they could break us, but they only helped us rise. And now world will never forget who we are. To me, the regular people were always the real freaks, You'd never expect them to be the ones who get away with murder, who slit throats in the dark, all while wearing their perfect little masks. Those who have it easy, they're the ones with more reason to commit crimes, cause they know society will look the other way. They've mastered the art of deception, slipping through cracks we didn't even know existed. But us, the angels, the misunderstood, we've been under a microscope since the day we were born. Life monitored us like a nuclear bomb, ticking, waiting for the slightest reason to implode. We were labeled threats before we even had a chance to speak, marked as the scum of the universe, told that we were nothing, that we'd never be anything. Yet all that hate, all that venom, it didn't destroy us, it forged us. Not into vengeful beasts, but into something far more dangerous. Beings who smile in the face of their tormentors, who thrive on the very chaos meant to break us. They thought they were breaking us down, but they were only sharpening our edges. Every insult, every judgment, every moment they tried to bury us, every moya seikable. While they lived in their comfortable little bubbles, we faced the storms head on. And it was in those storms that we found ourselves. We're not like them, we never were. They hide behind their masks of normalcy, committing their crimes in whispers, while we've lived our truth in the open, unafraid of their judgment. They try to paint us as villains, but the real villains. They've always been hiding in plain sight, dressed in suits and smiles, holding knives behind their backs. The difference is, we don't need to hide. Our power lies in our transparency, our refusal to conform, our ability to turn every scar into a badge of honor. They wanted us to crumble, to fade into the shadows, but instead we rose brighter and more defiant than ever. And now we smile not out of malice, but because we found peace in who we are. Their hatred was supposed to break us, but all it did was reveal the strength they never thought we had. While they remain shackled by their own lies, we are unchained, unstoppable. The angels, the freaks, the outcasts, the ones they tried to crush, don't fit neatly into their little boxes. They wanted us broken, compliant, apologetic for our existence. But what they failed to realize is that every attempt to tear us down only made us more resilient. They threw their stones, their knives, their venomous words, hoping to scar us into submission. Yet all they did was sharpen our resolve. We learned to thrive in their chaos. Their hatred was the fire, and we became the steel forged in it. They don't understand how we smile, why their attempts to shatter us seem to have the opposite effect. To them, pain is the end of the road, but to us, it's just another stepping stone. Every insult, every rejection became fuel. We didn't run from it, we embraced it, let it mold us into something stronger, something unbreakable. They call us freaks because we don't seek their validation, because we don't live by their rules. But who made their rules in the first place? Who decided what's normal and what's wrong? The truth is, they fear what they can't control, and they'll do anything to silence it. They point fingers at us to distract from their own sins, their own darkness, but we see it, we've always seen it. What terrifies them most is that we stop caring about their opinions. Their power over us came from their ability to make us doubt ourselves, but now their words are hollow, their judgments meaningless. We found strength in our scars, beauty in our imperfections, and power in our defiance. They can't take that from us, no matter how hard they try. The angels of misunderstood society cast aside, we're not victims, we're warriors. We walk through their fire, not because we have to, but because we can. We turn their poison into our medicine, their hate into our armor. And as they watch us rise, unyielding, unbroken, they're left to confront their own reflection. Because deep down, they know they're the real freaks. They're the ones hiding behind masks, terrified of being seen for who they truly are. So we smile, not out of spite, but out of freedom. We've reclaimed ourselves, and in doing so, we shatter the chains they tried to bind us with. We don't just survive, we thrive, and that, more than anything, is our ultimate revenge. We are the angels, the misunderstood, the ones who were meant to fail, but chose to rise instead. And that, more than anything, terrifies them. If you really like this content, subscribe to my free newsletter and get free updates on videos. If you are interested, comment joker below this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And tell the Batman I said hello.